Well, it's another day of anguish, of heartache, of pain, and of disappointment as the father of my severely brain-damaged child, Betsy. Stuck with you for another day, Betsy, as we go on with part 2 of this special father-daughter discussion on the Trayvon Martain tragedy. In this video, Betsy, this video series that we're doing right now, do you understand what we're doing?
Yes.
Well, what are we doing?
We're talking about the Trayvon Martain case.
That's right. If you could speak up a little bit louder so my listeners who don't have supersonic hearing can still hear you, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
You look a lot better, Betsy. Are you feeling better?
I'm feeling a tiny bit better.
Betsy, if we look at the ratings from our previous video, you'll see that virtually no one liked you on the program. You've received something like 50 thumbs down and 0 thumbs up. No, Betsy, don't cry, Betsy. Betsy, it's okay. It's going to be okay. Betsy, let me explain it to you. Betsy, we offer a very important service on the internet. Do you understand what we do?
Yes.
Let me tell you about my listeners, Betsy. My listeners are oppressed people. Do you know what the word oppressed means?
No.
They have awful people around them, Betsy. They have bosses that they hate. They have wives who are fat, who have let themselves go, who move around like hippopotamuses. And they're people who are beat up by the tragedies of life day in and day out and day in and day out. People who have been abused and victimized by various aspects of society. And they come to me on the internet, Betsy, because they know that I am a man who will allow them to vent. I don't get all emo. I have very thick skin. They can make fun of you all they want, Betsy. It doesn't bother me at all. They can thumb down videos. They know that I am the one they can come to let all their aggressions out, Betsy. And I'm not going to be like some dweeb who censors and removes comments and blocks people. You know, I'm the one they go to when they need to feel better about themselves by bringing other people down. Because I have the chin for it, Betsy. I can take it. I can take the insults, Betsy. I can take the degradation, you know. And that's why they come to me, because they know at the end of the day, Brett Kingster is the man who will be there for them and who will help them unleash their anger so that they may go through the rest of the day, hopefully not abusing their wives and their children, who I'm sure are not that much better than you are, Betsy. So now let's get back to the topic of hand, Betsy, because I've obviously been babbling insignificantly for quite some time. We were talking about the Trayvon Martain, and if memory serves me correct, Betsy, I was telling you various facts of the cases, and so let's recap some of the various facts. First off, Betsy, I don't know if we covered racism or not, so let's talk about racism, because racism is a big part of the Trayvon Martain situation. Do you understand what racism is, Betsy? Do you know why people are racists?
No.
Do you know what racism means, Betsy?
Not a clue.
What the hell do they teach you at school? You don't know what racism means?
No.
Well, how about discrimination? Do you know what that means?
Nope.
Holy crap, Betsy. Discrimination is when you treat someone differently based on something, and racism is when you treat someone poorly based on their race. That's the color of their skin or their point of origin, Betsy. Are you aware of the fact that at some point during our history, Betsy, people who are African American or people that have chocolate-colored skin, are you aware that they were mistreated at certain points during the course of our history?
Yes.
You're aware of that?
Yep.
Do you know why people are racist? Like, why would someone judge someone differently based on the color of their skin? Why would someone see a black guy and say, that black guy, he shouldn't be allowed to eat at the same table I'm eating at, or that black guy is beneath me? Why would people think like that, Betsy? Do you have any idea why? Get closer to the microphone, Betsy.
I'm not exactly sure, but I don't really think that it's fair that he should, like, I know how, a long time ago, how, different colored people had different schools. So the white people would have their own school, and the black people would have their own school, and they would have, like, different drinking fountains, playgrounds, and sometimes the black people weren't allowed to go where the white people were, so the white people had a bigger advantage.
Why is that, though? Like, what do you think is the heart of that? Why would people divide themselves in that way? I have a theory. I'm going to share my theory with you, but I wanted to see if you had your own theory.
I'm not sure why they do that.
Really? You have no idea why?
No.
I used to think about this when I was your age a lot, because I used to think to myself, if skin color is the only reason I can think of not to like someone, how great a world would we be living in? Because I can think of a million reasons to hate someone, and none of them would have anything to do with their skin. But Betsy, I think what it is, I think if you pay attention to the people that are racist, you'll notice some things. You'll notice, number one, they're usually uneducated. And if they do have education, it's got very little to do with science. And I think what it is it's a cheap way to feel superior about yourself. It's a cheap way to feel that you're a better person, a better human being than another person without having to work for it, Betsy, you see. I'll give you an example. My favorite black guy in the world right now is a man by the name of, well, do you know who he is? Can you guess? Who's the black guy you see me listening to 24/7 just about? Do you know his name?
No.
You don't know his name?
No, I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Neil deGrasse Tyson? That doesn't ring any bells for you, Betsy?
Now it does.
Now it does. Would you say I listen to a lot of his lectures, Betsy?
Yes.
How often would you say I spend listening to him? How much time would you say I spend listening to him?
At least 2 hours.
At least 2 hours every day?
Yep. You really like him.
You see, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he feels good about himself, I'm sure. He doesn't have an overly inflated ego, but I'm sure he feels accomplished. He feels proud in his accomplishments. The reason he does is because he's very highly educated. He spent at least 10 years just studying astrophysics. He had to work hard, Betsy, to feel an era of superiority about himself. And this era of superiority, it's earned. He earned it. So, now, how does a stupid white guy who can't go to school, who can't be taught, who's intellectually, very similar to you, how does this guy feel good about himself easily without having to work? He creates a magical world in his head. And in this magical world, he's great just because he's white. That's it. And that, Betsy, is the heart of racism. People who are racist are really insecure people who have a very hard time hacking it. So they become racist so they can instantly feel good about themselves. It's like a druggie getting a drug fix, an instant fix. So that's racism, Betsy.